Hello, everybody. I'm gonna apologize in advance for the way this particular message to the community will be structured. It's going to be a little long, a little ranty. Well, I hope it's not too long, but it might be a little ranty because I did not prepare any like sort of quote or speech for this. It's just gonna kind of be me talking. So I hope that's okay with everybody. And if it's not, then I'll try and be brief in like a short news comment in the Fraudia forum server. But this is kind of important. So I'm hoping that if you are currently watching, you guys could just stick through it and just hear me out and see what I have to say. So it's it's been a long, long time that this community's been around. And it's in its current state, it's been around for about maybe 2 to 3 years. And I have to say, even though there's a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot of people that I really like, people that I don't really like, whatever, I really enjoy dealing with it. It's kind of like my baby at this point. And even though most of you may not be aware because you guys are in every other server except for Caveton, um, I was gone recently due to some internal issues with, my family and real life just sort of catching up. So I had to take a break from the community for like a couple days. Well, actually for like a week, and deal with all that IRL shit. Um, the big issue was that during that time, I sort of noticed, I got a glimpse into what this community would be if I weren't here for it. And noticed that a lot of things change, a lot of things die, and so on and so forth. Um, I did see some hopeful things, like Extrovia and every other server be fine without me, which is, what I expected. Um, but I saw my personal friend group, the one that I really do care about, the one that I been with for the longest. I saw those guys sort of start to dissipate because they just didn't really know what to do. That's specifically Caveton. Um, and that's a little upsetting, but also something that I was expecting. So, with all that being said, I think all of us, no matter who we are, we're all starting to grow up, right? Myself specifically, jobs and other IRL shit start to get in the way of me hanging out with you guys because you guys are really, well, a lot of you guys are kind of like my family in a sense. So like really close friends that I've known for years and years. But IRL, real life, does eventually catch up. And sacrificing time for you guys, although it's something that I always do, there's a lot of stuff that I just don't think I'll be able to continue to do. Um, and this has been talked at least quite thoroughly with uh, close friends and people that are very important to the current structure of the community. So it's just the conclusion is this that I won't be able to continue doing a lot of the stuff that I think give this whole system that we currently have the meaning behind it. I just won't be able to. That's a given. And in 3 years' time, more or less, right, I'm gonna run out of time completely unless I make this community productive, economically productive, that is. Because every time, hour spent here is an hour that I'm not spending uh, at a second job, for instance, where I could be earning money. So at this point, there are only really two ways I can see this going for myself, right? The first way would be for me to say, all right, I've had a good run, and resign as president of the community, which would be what I would opt to do. But like I mentioned previously at the beginning of this whole thing, if I do that, the people that I care most about, the people that I've been with years, they're not going to be here anymore. And that is upsetting because I want to keep those people around. That's not to say I don't care about everybody else, mind you. I love a lot of people from not my immediate friend group, but that friend group specifically is the one that I do want to keep around. And I love doing this, but like I said, just the time that I could be using for anything else is being spent here. So, as a result, I think because the system already promotes every server to be somewhat independent and, you know, the next best thing would be for me to invoke a controlled collapse, meaning that we sort of get rid of everything, right? We Extrovia, Purgatorium, Arctic Pikes, the usual suspects. Um, we'll all go our separate ways. Caveton, we'll all go our separate ways. Uh, the system that we currently have is likely going to be scrapped, right? We'll get rid of all of the things, the Congress, all that stuff that is meant to encompass all the servers. We will just sort of part them, get rid of them, and ground zero to start over will be essentially Caveton, and from there on Caveton, I'll figure out more or less what I need to do to make everything viable. But what I cannot continue to do is spend a lot of hours of my time uh, doing things that aren't necessarily for myself, right? Like I love spending time with everyone. I love helping everyone out with their servers. I just can't keep doing that for the sake of doing it. And in some cases, not even getting proper retribution or even recognition for it. That's not to say that I'm complaining, not at all. Like, I know that people are people and we all do our certain things, but I think this would be the best possible route for me to take. Just make sure that I can secure my own future while being here and, just try and keep the friends that I've made along the way, um, and just start over in Caveton, which might get a name change. I'm not sure about that yet. So that's essentially what's going to happen. I'm going to invoke controlled collapse, obviously get the Congress's consent on this, and yeah, no, just the whole system that we have right now is not going to be viable anymore, and start over. Um, and I get I would like to say that everybody here that's helped me through this amazing phase of this group that does not want to die. Um, more specifically, Gamerman, Lost Nuke, Uni himself, all these people that I seriously cannot thank enough for because they've just been wonderful, not as just partners, but as friends. So I mean, I'm incredibly grateful for everybody, whether they be from Caveton or Extrovia or whatever, for taking a chance and just doing all that shit for me, even though they totally did not have to. Um, But I think this is the next big step for me, the next big step for this community, and I think that getting rid of this bloated system project is good, and we can try and start over anew with a new purpose, and hopefully, make some money and we can look towards a more prosperous future for anyone that's going to be in Caveton. Uh, I've been thinking about crazy things of like instead of just paying my moderators with credits and them getting a little bit like actually paying them. But like these are far future things. Like, they're just dumb ideas that I have floating in my head. Um, but if this is gonna be profitable for me, I would like it for it to be something that I can do. So I uh I just gotta say I love everybody. This is definitely not the end. If not, this is just the beginning of yet another 3 years of this crazy fucking project that started way back in 2012. So for those of you who have been on the ride for longer than most, thank you, and even for those who have not been, well, I mean, thank you as well. So I guess that's everything, and just have a nice day. If you start seeing changes in the Fradia forum, if you see any announcements in your home server, you know why it is. Um, but even if you don't, which hopefully you don't, this is why. All right, well, that's that. Peace out, everybody. You've all been wonderful. Bye bye.